Getting a physically printed book is a lot easier than you think. Amazon wants you to do it. Amazon wants you to publish more books. My mindset is just like how getting your driver's test at the Department of Motor Vehicles is a real hassle. They want you to have a driver's license. They want you to pay your car registration. They want you to pay money, but you do have to walk through a few simple rules to getting it done. This is called Kindle Direct Publishing, KDP.com. This is the way that you get your book published on Amazon. This is where you get your royalty checks, where you check your sales stats, where you can update your book. This really held me back for so many years. I worried that if I published a book on Amazon or anywhere else, that the book would be just set in stone, couldn't change anything. Well, the good news is that if you find a typo in your book, if you want to update the price, the inside, the cover, they make it easy enough where you just upload it again, and the new version is what goes out ahead of time. So in a previous video, we clicked and we published our book on Kindle. All you need is a cover. We use Canva.com to make that happen. Then you need a interior of your book, and we used Microsoft Word to make that happen. So what I do personally is I have a folder on my Google Drive that is called Books. And then I have a folder for each of my books. And then I have my book written in Microsoft Word. And the reason for that is that Google Docs keeps getting close to you being able to fully format a book, but it's not quite there. And so nothing really replaces a book manuscript as Microsoft Word does. We have it 6 inches by 9 inches. And we have about a 1-inch margin on the side, and that's enough to get you started. Now, the margins and the page size and the page numbers don't matter that much on a digital Kindle book because they don't know if you will be reading it on a phone screen or on a tablet or on a computer. But when you publish your book in print format, the size matters a lot more. And let's talk about that. So we have a 6 by 9 inch Word document. And then what I'm going to do here in a moment is I will go File, Save As, and I will save this as a PDF file just because I don't 100% trust the paperbacks for Amazon to handle a Word document. I still like to get it saved as a PDF. That way I get the table of contents the way I want it and the page numbers. This is how I do it. So here's what we do is we have created our book cover already in Canva, and we'll be revisiting Canva in a moment. But for now, we go to KDP.com. We already have the digital version made. And then in this section here, there's paperback and there's hardcover. And you know, once I show you paperback, hardcover is not that much tougher, but hardcover is not going to sell as much as paperback. It's a higher price point, and you need to be even tighter with the margins. You need to have even thicker margins in the hardcover. So let's just not even worry about paperback or not worry about hardcover. Let's make a paperback for our digital Kindle version. So KDP.com, we find the book that we already published digitally, click on Create Paperback, and most of this is already filled in. They've saved us a lot of work. We've got the title, subtitle, all the authors, the description. That's all there. And then we need to choose the category. So now we're back in this area. So personal transformation, success. So the categories are a little different. And self-help, personal transformation, that's slightly different. And self-help success. Okay, that one's in there. And then the third category, let's try business and money, personal finance, and I guess general. All right, so we made our categories. We got our keywords. Publication is the same. Release my book for sale now. Simple enough. But it will be a little difficult in a moment when it comes time to make the spine and the back cover, so buckle up. Next page, it asks for our ISBN number, so just say get a free KDP ISBN, click Assign ISBN, and assign ISBN. And it gives us this, and what I'll do is I'll right-click and copy this long number, go to my book, And what I do is I edit this Word document and I say Paperback ISBN and I paste that in. It just looks like a more legitimate book to have the ISBN number printed right in there. And then I go File, Save As, PDF, then More Options, and Options again. And make sure to click on this PDF-A compliant. That just prevents a lot of bad things from happening. So we'll save this as a PDF. While that's happening, what do you want for the pages? Black and white. That'll be a lot cheaper than color. 6 by 9 inches, no bleed. And then we'll do a glossy cover. I think it always comes out better. Then upload Manuscript. And we will go back to that books folder. We'll upload the PDF that we just now saved. Okay. And then we'll close a few other windows down. All right, now the tricky part, the cover. So you have basically three options. There's these really ugly covers that KDP gives you. There's some templates where you don't really have that much control over the spine or the background, or there's you kind of make it yourself. So here's what we do. Is we say, well, I want to give you my cover, needs to be PDF only. So we click on this cover calculator, and I guess I closed my book too soon. Let me open up the PDF to make sure I'm doing this properly, because we want to know the page number. Okay, it's 201 pages. So what we do here is we say binding type paperback, interior type black and white, paper type white, reading direction left to right, measurement units inches, and then the size is 6 by 9, and the page count is 201. Click on Calculate Dimensions, Download Template, and the numbers that we're doing this for is 12.703 and 9.25 inches. So what we'll do here is we'll go to Canva.com, and I apologize if this is a little too techy, but this is the way to get a book that looks okay. Click on Create a Design, Custom Size, make sure we're dealing with inches, and we said that the height is 9.25. That's pretty standard, but the tricky part is the width, because if you look at this picture here, the width, it's like as if you laid the book flat. So there's the back cover, then there's the spine, the side, then there's the front cover. So this is going to change based on how many pages that you have. So 12.703, click Create New Design. While that's being made, we downloaded the book template. So let me go and see what we just downloaded. So we downloaded this zip file, right click and extract all. Okay, so it gave us these sort of templates here, and we'll go and say reinvented you, and I call this a one-piece cover. That's just how I do it. Click on Uploads, Upload Files, and then browse to what we just saved, which I believe is just 201 pages. So wait for that to upload. Then you click it once, and then you position it in the top left corner, then grab this bottom corner and drag it. And this will help us to position everything, right? This will help us to position the spine and the cover and all that good stuff. And so this will be about, well, even differently than we expected, right? So I just like to not make it super exact, but try to position these guides about where it should be and about where it should be. It doesn't have to be 100% exact because it won't even print it exactly. But if you want to be anal retentive, you can. I'm not about to measure my ruler. I just want to make a simple YouTube tutorial. So we'll just position all these, position these. So we're just clicking and dragging from the ruler. And if you don't see this, I believe you go to File, Settings, Show Rulers and Guides. And we just put those guides there. That way we can kind of sort of position everything properly. Because what we want to do is we want to kind of center this, right? So if this is, let me see here. If this is 2.4, so how does that happen? So if we say that, so this, let me bust out my pen actually. So we say this is about 0.25, right? And then this other part is about 6. So, yes, 6 inches. So if we have this at about, so what are we doing? 6 minus 0.25 divided by 2, 2.875. 2.875, does that look about as close as they let us do it? So it's sort of, doesn't look centered at all, does it? Let me think. If we said this 2.875 is half of the cover, and if we said 2.875 plus 0.25, oh no, plus 0.25, 3.125. So let's try to put that sort of at 3.125. It looks more centered. And this other one, that starts at about, let me think here, 6.69. So 6.69, about 9.56. So get it close to 9 point. All right. So that way it'll be somewhat centered. And then what we'll do is I already created this front cover here, and we'll do a share and a download PNG. Save that. And then we go upload files, and what we just downloaded, upload it, and click. And then you kind of just position it right there, more or less. But we do want to make it larger than this, and it's kind of a judgment call for you, because it's like, well, how much do you want to center versus how much do you want to bleed all the way through? And then so we'll kind of go to this, and we'll do like a, hold down the Alt key to kind of stretch it. I guess that's pretty good, right? Because we're really nervous about being too close to the edge, but I guess that should still be okay. And then we want to make the back cover and the spine. So let's do the back cover. So I think I actually want to make the red the whole length and that the whole length. Okay. So then we'll go, maybe I'll separate the words a little bit better. Okay. Then you go to these 3 dots and duplicate page. And then we'll take out a few items from the bottom and make a back cover. So, and we already have a back cover, we have a cover description, right? So we'll say, let's see, master your mind money. All right, so we'll say, write me a back cover, including headline and description. Keep me in mind the space on the back is limited. So that will generate things like a headline. So we'll start with this headline, and maybe we'll use this, and then size the text down, and then you size that down too. And I like to do a URL and a QR code, but you'll see in a moment that the bottom is tricky because they might have a QR code. So we started off by just duplicating the cover, and then we just change up these elements, mostly deleting because we want it to look similar, but it also needs to be clear that this is the back. So that's similar. And then we'll use this for that description. Still a lot. And we'll kind of say, break up those paragraphs. And just try out a few different things, right? Try italicized. Okay. That's okay. That works for me, right? You don't need all those other bullet points. But we do want a URL, and we have that here. So let me try making the color that, or do we want white? I guess I like white better. And we'll make sure to have it kind of far enough up because there'll be a barcode right around there. And then we also want a QR code. So we'll go apps, QR code. Oh no, what happened? Apps, QR code. Just saw it. Where the heck is it? QR code. All right, QR code. That's what was hiding. And we'll enter our URL, customize, and with 0 margin. So you generate it, it puts it right in there, and we'll position it kind of like that. And then there should be a barcode right around there. Let's see how we did. So we'll go share, download, PNG, and save just the second page. Then go back to our one piece and upload the back. And similar idea, kind of position it. And then we will very carefully, oh no, there we go. I'm gonna resize it. Well, can I just grab it? Nope. We'll zoom in. Just want to resize it. And grab the corner, not the side. Where's that corner? Ah, whatever. All right, there we go. We'll just sort of fudge it. And then try to move that guide back 0.25. So we just kind of get it sort of positioned. See if it lines up somewhat with that front. Maybe not. It's getting worse. Okay. So we sort of have it like that. And then what we can do is mess with the transparency and fade it in and out, because especially we want to make sure that it stays out of that barcode. So even though the lines don't really match, that's okay. And we'll go elements, and then we'll stick a square shape in there. And then we'll choose a color. So we can either do the beige, or I like the red better, because that way we don't have to match about the other stuff making sense. So we bring that up, we bring that down, and then we do position backward until it's just like that. But I think we need to carefully, you just figure out how to bring to front, backward, I guess. Maybe we'll do like this. Get the spine like that, and then bring to front. Okay, so now we have the front and the back and the spine. And then we want to add this text on the spine. So we get a guide and we drag it to the middle. I think that's the middle. And then we add text, and we say I'll add a subheading, and we'll say this is Reinvented You. And what the heck font is this? Bebas New. So we'll say the font is Bebas New. Make it really small because we definitely want it to fit. And then, oops, and then you zoom in again. Then you rotate it so that way it's 90 degrees exactly. And then it's positioned wherever that's centered makes sense. Wherever it kind of catches it. There we go. That's got to line up somehow, right? So we have that, and then Control-C, Control-V to copy it. We take this copy here, and we'll add the author names, and then same idea. Try to put it in the middle and wherever it kind of catches where it seems good. All right. Does that look okay? Oh, way down. I want to put this way further down. Okay. So now it's the same distance from the top as from the bottom. Seems okay. And let's see what that gives us. So we just took that Kindle template, made it a flat whole thing, front cover, back cover, spine, share, download, PDF print, flatten, CMYK colors. Don't even worry about what that means. That's just the settings to have. And then now we flip back to KDP and we say my cover does not have a barcode, so add in your own. But is this done? Save in the PDF almost. And then we'll say, did you use AI tools? I use AI tools in the text. I used ChatGPT, but I did not use any in the images or in the translations. So we upload the PDF file that we just downloaded, and it's just a one-page PDF. That's a little misleading. People think of PDF as like many pages. This is just a one-page PDF cover. And we did it this way, which took a little bit of extra being careful, but I think it's worth that little bit of effort because now we have a front and a back and a cover, and it's the way we want it, and the colors should all match if we did it right. But the paperback version makes you wait a couple of minutes, more so than the digital version, so we'll wait a second, and then once this is done, then we'll say Launch Previewer. All right, now this is your chance to flip through the cover and the pages. So first thing is we got our spine centered wrong. I do like how the text is tiny because I'm always so worried about it being too much. And then I always eyeball it and try to be like, well, is the cover off center at all? No, it seems okay, but I do want to fix the spine. And then you can flip through the pages itself and you can just see how the book would look in print. Does anything look off center at all? Are you happy with how the page numbers are? I'm happy with all that. I just don't like how the spine, it's a little too tall. So how did that happen? Maybe that's a little better. I really can't tell. Some of these guides are misleading me. So let me drag these off. So this is 12.703. I guess we are doing some mathematics. 6.315. Okay. So we'll center it on. Really? This looks so... Yeah, I guess it is a little off, isn't it? Shoot. It's tricky. So let me just get all these guides out of the way. Up. And it's a little tricky. All right, so let's resize that a little bit. That as close as possible. All right, yeah, I think that's a little better. Then we'll get this side a little closer too. Yeah, all right. We'll get the transparency back to that. All right, see how that came out. Make sure to get the transparency all the way turned up. Download your print PDF again. A little tedious, but hey, better than getting a whole book printed out the wrong way or waiting for it to come in the mail and then realizing you had to adjust it. Am I right? All right, and then we just exit the print previewer and everything else, like we said, was okay. So we upload the new updated cover. Wait for that to finish processing. Okay, now launch previewer again. Oh, still preparing. Okay, moment of truth time. Well, now I don't like how high up that is, but I can live with it. And it looks centered. Everything looks okay to me. Let's click approve. And we'll wrap this up. We'll set the pricing, etc. So we gave it all the settings, interior, cover, save and continue. Cost $3.41 to print a 200-page paperback book. Not too bad. All territories. It says minimum price $5.69. So let's make it $9.99. And then click on expanded distribution. That way it can be in libraries. Then publish your paperback book. And it never takes me more than a day. And that is the way that you end up with a paperback book to go along with your digital Kindle book. And then that way when someone goes and sees, so for example, this book that we published previously, The Path to a New You, we bring it up on Amazon. There's the Kindle, there's the paperback. And then with Reinvented You, which is what we just now published, I actually published this an hour ago and then came back just now to make the paperback video. Right now the Kindle is available, but we need to wait for them to approve the paperback, and then that will be a button as well, and that will be $9.99. So we'll make a few dollars every time someone purchases that. And then of course you can click on reports to see how the book is selling. And that is how you publish a paperback book on KDP. I think technically you can publish a paperback by itself, but I highly, highly recommend you get the digital version published first, because that's where a lot of my sales come from, and most people that I know. To publish a book on Amazon Kindle, you go to kdp.com, you upload a cover, which you can create in Canva, you upload the book manuscript, which you can create in Microsoft Word, you answer a few questions, it's live, then you click the other button that said Create Paperback, where you do almost the same thing, but the tricky part is figuring out that one-page PDF where you have to be a little more careful with the measurements, make sure things are centered, but that gives you a beautiful looking book where you have a front and a spine and a back, and you end up with the book that you want. And order yourself a copy, wait for it to come in the mail, and if you want to adjust it, you can, and then you'll have a template moving forward for books 2, 3, and 4, and it will become easier every time that you do it. The trick, though, is just getting those things centered, and also, as far as the pages themselves, the interior, is making sure that those margins are wide enough, thick enough, that way the text isn't all the way on the edge or all the way on the spine, but you'll get better as you go along. That's how it's done. Before you know it, you'll be like Mr. Robert Plank from bookformula.com, where you click a few clicks and then your book is published just like that. KDP.com is the place to do it, is where to go. Robert Plank, like and subscribe. Leave a comment if this helped you. And if you have a book that's now published on Amazon, drop a link to it in the comments. I'll be glad to buy a copy. Don't be a stranger. Let's talk soon.